Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Jets Radio. This is one of your hosts, Tyson Roush, preview show. We're not going to talk about drama, or maybe we will, but that'll be after our preview. But Jets, Jaguars, Sunday down in Jacksonville, so we're going to talk about that tonight. So let me introduce the man of the people, Long Beach Joe. Happy Friday night, man.
What's going on, Ty, man? Happy Friday night to you as well. We got a lot to talk about. We got a team coming up that's hungry, and they got a lot of good players over there. We got to see what kind of effort we can put together. So listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people, so let me shamelessly promote our Facebook page. Everyone, go over to Facebook, search Let's Talk Jets Radio. Like that page. Our content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message us. We'll message you right back. We love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave us some feedback. We love hearing about what you folks think we do here on Let's Talk Jets Radio. So without further ado, Ty, let's go ahead and get into the show, man. I'm fired up.
Yeah, like I said, it's a preview of the game on Sunday. As always, we're on Instagram and Twitter at Talk Jets Radio. We're on YouTube, Let's Talk Jets Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and I added us to 5 more podcast places. So we're flying all over the place. So if you listen to podcasts somewhere, pretty good chance you're going to find us there, and we appreciate it. Our call-in number is 929-477-2651. And Joe, I guess before we have a guest coming on in a couple of minutes to talk about this game, I guess we could touch on this real quickly because I just do not understand what in the living hell the New York Jets are doing with Kelechi Osemele. They are going down the weirdest, most bizarre path. In a season that has become a complete clown show, this is rising to the top. I don't understand why the Jets are taking this position. If it's about money, if it's about ego, if it's about power, they're looking stupid, dude. To list him as doubtful today when the entire world knows he had surgery. It's dude, this is like a circus. What are we doing, Joe? Yeah. What is Joe Douglas doing? What is he doing? Any idea?
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't know what's going on. This situation is really escalated, especially with him, putting out more stuff, especially on his social media for everybody to see. The other note that he got from a doctor basically saying yes, he definitely needs surgery. He should get surgery. Them talking about, the issues with his shoulder, the fact that he has a cyst in there. Let me tell you something. Those things are extremely painful. I'm a person that, everyone knows I'm a fireman. I work with, I'm an EMT as well. So I go on medical calls, and I take care of sick people, all right, and people that are hurt and injured. You do something like that to your shoulder, you tear your labrum off the bone, and you have a cyst in there. Oh, man, that is the worst. So that's some type of pain right there. And then, again, with the doctors backing, saying, hey, he should have surgery. And it's just why isn't this being handled in a better manner? Why are you guys finding him? Why are you, just being so stupid about this situation? Just let the guy have surgery and move on. What is the deal going on here? I don't understand it. And then the worst part about it was the blank MRI stuff. He came out, he's the Douglas admitted, hey, it was a blank MRI, it was just a mistake, stuff like that. And the problem with that is, when you talk about situations involving health, you see the situation that the Redskins are having with Williams over there, with Trent Williams. He doesn't want to play, period. He looked, the situation we had here, I didn't like the way that you dealt with me and my body, my health. I'm not dealing with you. I'm not playing. Something like this continues to go on. It's already gotten, too big already. This is could deter a lot of players from re-signing with us. It could deter a lot of players from coming here to begin with. It could cause issues really in the locker room. I mean, he even said some of his teammates, said, hey, this is BS. I'm not going to say the word, but this is BS. What they're doing to you is BS. So it's wow, you got to wonder, again, outside of, pushing guys away that aren't even here yet, that could be potential free agent gets that we want, and not being able to re-sign guys that already want to come here. It's how much of a distraction has this become to the locker room? You got this guy, it's everywhere in the media, everyone's talking about it, and you guys are trying to get prepared, and here you got a guy that they're just rolling over and just completely trying to run through because his shoulder is jacked up and he can't play. It's just unbelievable, man. I don't know what is going on with this franchise and why they're handling it this way, but this is just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, and you look at it, and it's like, Adam Gase is getting blasted every which way, and I understand, but he can't comment on it because of the lawsuit. But this, to me, falls on Joe Douglas, man. Like, Joe Douglas is getting a pass he's getting a pass for so many things that's mind-boggling to me at this point. I mean, he's getting a pass for this, which he looks like he's like an amateur GM, like he doesn't know what he's doing. This whole, the whole sent the wrong MRIs, didn't do this. Now they're playing this game with the injury report. I mean, the way he handled the quarterback position, the way they handled C.J. Mosley, the way they handled the kicker position. I think there are 4 or 5 examples how this team is being completely mismanaged and misrun. And we can blame Gase all we want, and rightfully so. The fact that Joe Douglas is getting a pass in all this, I have no idea why. I really don't know, because we look like idiots. Like, Joe, the best thing is I reached out to Thomas Jones and Damian Woody today. I asked both of them. I said, listen, what do you think about this? And they're like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like, we have no idea why the Jets are going down this hill. It makes them look bad on and off the field. And the locker room notices. Players across the league notice. I mean, there's players tweeting about it. So now it's like, all right, you want to go to New York Jets? Oh, man. Adam Gase off the bat isn't the most, guy that everybody wants to play for. And then you have this nonsense. Dude, it just seems like an unnecessary evil. Like, why are the Jets handling themselves like this? It's like amateur hour stuff in a lost season. Like, with all the negative publicity they already have with the ghost and the losing and all this other stuff, now you got to add this on it and then stay stubborn and arrogant about it by making them doubtful today. Like, you just look stupid, man.
It's completely idiotic. I do not get it. I don't understand what it is. I mean, you're going to move on from the guy next year anyway. Like, why make this big a deal? Yeah, they're getting rid of him anyway. So what is the big deal? Let the guy get his surgery and go on. Why would you pick this hill to die on? What is the point? You don't win at all from any standpoint. You look crazy as an organization. Everywhere. I do not understand this. Like, it's just completely stupid.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll come back to that later on. But if you're looking for my opinion, I have a lot of questions for Joe Douglas. And listen, you're a first-time GM. To me, they've made a lot of mistakes. And Adam Gase is a veteran coach, so he gets no pass. But Joe Douglas, I mean, this is not a very good impression. I mean, at all. Like, this is just a goddamn circus. But we're going to talk some Jets-Jaguars, which is could be an ugly game as well. So we have James Johnson coming on, who came on last year, actually, talk about this, the managing editor of the Jaguars Wire for USA Today. James, this is Joe and Tyson. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How you guys doing? Can you guys hear me pretty good?
Yeah, man, you're all good. And we're not doing so well, man, because our team is a train wreck and our general manager is a clown. So we're not doing well, man. So I'm thinking you're probably doing better than us.
Yeah, I probably am. It's times where I've been the same throughout the season, so don't feel so bad about that.
So, James, I guess how we'll start this off is, as an outsider looking in, what are your thoughts, your outside thoughts on Adam Gase and the New York Jets, just from what you see in the media and everything else?
Yeah, Gase is somebody I kind of followed a little bit last year because he was with the Dolphins, which, as we all know, is in the same state with Jacksonville, of course, in Miami. So I kind of followed him there a little bit. And now looking at him with the Jets, I just feel like, albeit Sam Darnold missed 3 games, if I'm calculating it right, I think they're a team that should be, in terms of the record, better than they are. You look at the talent they have. They have, more talent than a lot of these bottom-tier teams. And, quite frankly, it's a little shocking to me that they're 1-5. Not just, because they have the talent, but, Joe Douglas was a guy that was widely regarded in terms of the GM search. I can remember him coming up when the Jaguars were doing GM searches and just watching other teams do these GM searches, albeit I guess Douglas hasn't really been there all that long. But, the results just don't really mix with what their record is, in my opinion, when looking at them on paper.
James, my name is Joe, and I want to welcome you to the show. I want to get your thoughts on Gardner Minshew. He seems to, really have people in an uproar down there. He's putting together a lot of things, seems like a hero. What does he bring to the Jaguars at the quarterback position?
Yeah, it's been very fascinating to watch, to say the least, because here in Jacksonville, we've seen our share of failures at the quarterback position. The most recent, of course, was Blake Bortles. So, this is kind of different to see a young quarterback flourishing, and not just that, but one that was drafted in the 6th round that kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody in the fan base honestly could say they had high expectations of Gardner. At best, they were expecting, somebody who could be a backup to Nick Foles. Lo and behold, Nick Foles gets injured, breaks his collarbone week 1. Minshew has to come out there, and he completes like his first 12 or so passes, which, hadn't been done since the late 90s. I think it was Brad Johnson was the last person to do it. So when he did that, everybody was like, we don't want to jump on the bandwagon just yet, but, it might be something with this kid. It might be something to this kid. So he goes to Houston, Texas, the next following week, which was his actual first start, leads the team into a game-winning drive at the end of the game. Again, something that we haven't really grown accustomed to in Jacksonville. And literally, they were inches away from winning that game. Leonard Fournette, as everybody's seen in the highlights, got stopped on the goal line there, but literally inches away from winning that game. And then from that point on, people began to look more into Gardner Minshew, and since he's led them to a 3-3 record, which is, the 500 record in terms of with him as the starter, they're one game under 500, of course, in totality. And, he's a guy that when you look at where he was drafted and the expectations of him, he's far exceeded those. And he even has some people wanting him to stay on the field even when Nick Foles is healthy week 11, because there may be something to this young man. And, it's just rare to see somebody drafted where he was at the quarterback position to have the success he has. And he's a fun guy off the field as well. We all seen the Minshew Mania stuff going on. Everybody's walking around Jacksonville with aviators and bandanas and mustaches on. So, he has the nation, really, really looking at the city. He has the city really behind him in terms of a fan base, and it's just amazing to see, to say the least.
Now, what is Minshew's strength? Because I watched them when they played against the Saints, which was a really hard-fought game, a close game. He struggled a little bit. Does he have good arm strength? Is he a runner? What does Minshew bring to the table in terms of the offense?
Yeah, that Saints game is the one that will stick out to a lot of people in terms of his struggles, and that was because the Saints did a very, very good job of keeping him in the confines of the pocket. He's a guy that if you let him allow the play to prolong, you're probably going to end up giving up a lot of yardage, to say the least. Or in some cases, when a play goes on too long, you can get a holding call on offense as well. But 9 times out of 10, Gardner Minshew will make you pay down the field if you don't get him on the ground within 3 to 4 seconds, because he's always looking down the field, or, he'll take off. And he's not the most fleet of foot guy by any means, but he will definitely take off and run if he has to, and he will get you a lot of positive yardage from that perspective with his feet. So he's a guy that really keeps his eyes downfield. I think the best thing about Gardner Minshew, and it's the reason why he's been flourishing the most, is his IQ. You look at all of the scouting reports, and you even look at him present day. The arm strength really wasn't the strongest. Of course, that's why a lot of people may want Nick Foles in when he's healthy. But the IQ is just something that's always been talked about with him. From the day the Jaguars met him in their first meeting with him, which was in the Combine. And that's something that Doug Marrone constantly talks about to this day, is how do you process all of this information as a rookie, as a young rookie as that? So that, to me, I think the IQ and his knowledge of football is his strength. And it really has shown in these games that he has started in.
One of the things that a lot of people sleep on, because you guys have Leonard Fournette, is your wide receiver core. DJ Chark, D.D. Westbrook, these guys can make some moves, especially Chark with the ball in his hands. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we could expect from them come Sunday?
Yeah, they are. I've always said this. They are a very underrated group. A lot of people had them ranked coming in because they were kind of unknown, ranked as a bottom tier receivers group, to say the least, when they were coming into the regular season. But my thing, and you can go back and check the records on Jaguars. I always thought people were underestimating this group. DJ Chark struggled mightily last year, but at the same time, he was a rookie. But we're talking about a guy here who the Jaguars, they admitted they had a first-round grade on him despite getting him in the second round. So you're talking about a guy here who went to the Senior Bowl process, stood out 6'4", 4.3 speed. They just don't build receivers like DJ Chark. And it was just a matter of, I guess, when the game came to him, because, like I said, he really struggled last year. But otherwise, the measurables were there, the speed was there, and he was a guy that went against SEC speed constantly. I think he fell in the draft because, as we all know, like LSU has just struggled at the quarterback position up until recently, of course. But before that, it was just a mix of quarterbacks that just weren't getting the job done down there in LSU. Now it's a little bit differently now. But I think that allowed DJ Chark to fall to the Jags in the second round, and they're very lucky to have him. Dede Westbrook is a guy who, as we all know, when he was in college with Oklahoma, one of the better receivers in football, shouldn't have fell to the Jags where he fell to them at. They were very lucky to get him in the fourth round. He had some things that came up around draft time that dropped his stock, but in terms of the talent, Dede Westbrook was a second round to first round talent. So they kind of got lucky to get him too. So really, I think what it is with this, I don't know how the Jaguars end up being so lucky, but I think what it is with this group, especially those two, is they have two players who were drafted way later than they should have been drafted, and they're filling out their talent right now. And when you look at them as a group, not just those two, but just in totality, even Marquise Lee, who's kind of hasn't made that kind of an impact this year, Keelan Cole, you add him in there as well, and you just look at them as a group. You're looking at probably one of the fastest receiver cores in football. Aside from the Kansas City Chiefs, you're looking at a bunch of guys that's running like 4.3 speed. So they're different. They're difficult to deal with from that perspective as well.
Now, when we look at the Jags offense, we all know Leonard Fournette, that's the big man. You got to find some way to slow him down. If you could tell us, what is the best way to slow him down, or can you slow him down at all?
Yeah, yeah. Leonard Fournette can indeed be slowed down. Of course, you got to stack the box against him. You got to stop his momentum early in the backfield. He's a guy that you do not want getting to the second level because it's almost over at that point. If he does get to the second level, you're talking about a 8 to 15-yard gain at that point because he's just so hard and he's just a menace to stop in terms of that perspective and in terms of the back seven trying to stop him. So, yeah, really, if you can make the Jaguars one-dimensional, which has kind of been hard this year, oddly enough, it's odd, but being that they no longer, and I don't want to take a shot at Blake Bortles here, but being that they no longer have Blake Bortles and they have John DeFilippo, they can spread things out, and people are mindful of that now. They now know it's more than just the Leonard Fournette show, and that's what's kind of made it difficult for people to focus solely on Leonard Fournette and stack the box and stop him and kind of force him towards the season he had last year, although he was injured as well. That kind of played into it as well. But, but that whole new dynamic that John DeFilippo, the offensive coordinator, has brought, and, like you guys already mentioned, the weapons they have at receiver, you can't solely focus on him anymore. And then you have to also worry about Gardner Minshew and his ability in the pocket and prolonging the play too long as well. So I think from all of that perspective, yeah, if you can make the Jags one-dimensional and kind of take that Saints game plan that we just discussed where they kept Minshew in the pocket, they kept the pocket tight, then that's when he has one of the harder times in terms of, getting the yardage that we've seen so far of him. He's second in the AFC in rushing. But, yeah, you got to make this team one-dimensional if you want to stop Leonard Fournette.
Once again, we're speaking with James Johnson, the managing editor of the Jaguars Wire of USA Today. James, one of the biggest news for the Jacksonville Jaguars was the trading of Jalen Ramsey. Has that hurt them at all, or is that kind of like an addition by subtraction kind of situation?
Oh yeah, it's definitely hurt them. Anytime you lose a all-pro generational talent, I mean, the fans were well aware of this. They knew the repercussions. But anytime you lose a generational all-pro talent, a guy that's been an all-pro before the age of 24, he just turned 25 like today or yesterday it was, and a guy that's been to multiple Pro Bowls, he's been to, 3 Pro Bowls, it's going to hurt you. It simply is. And it doesn't help that the Jaguars are a little inconsistent on defense as well. But you just simply can't replace what Jalen Ramsey was. At least you definitely can't replace that midway through the season. Maybe, you can look down the road in free agency or in the draft, and you're probably not going to find anybody on that level on the trade market. I know Chris Harris, I'm sorry. His name is being floated out there, not as a Jags candidate, but he's one of those guys in terms of the cornerback market. Maybe him, but even he's not on Jalen Ramsey's level. So right now, in the meantime, they've had Trey Herndon playing in his spot. He was undrafted last year. He was a young man that the front office was high on then. They're still high on now. Like you just hear Doug Marrone especially rave about him, especially this summer in training camp. That's all you heard was Trey Herndon this and Trey Herndon that. And the guys upstairs in the front office, they loved them. They loved him, especially for undrafted talent. But nonetheless, what we're seeing is he's simply not Jalen Ramsey, and it's not even close. And teams have targeted him and picked on him. Joe Flacco did it. Other people in the past have done it, ranging from Teddy Bridgewater as well to all of the other players that have lined up against the Jaguars defense since Jalen Ramsey has been out with the back injury or just straight up traded. So it wouldn't surprise me if, Adam Gase was a guy that made a game plan for Sam Darnold to target Trey Herndon. It's been times where he has held his own, but definitely when you look at the weak link of that secondary, he would be the guy, and that's probably where the best opportunities lie for the New York Jets. Albeit, now I will say this, Robbie Anderson has given the Jaguars fits in the past. That's even with Jalen Ramsey. That's even with A.J. Boye lined up across from Robbie Anderson. So that might be a guy as well to look out for when he's lined up on Herndon and when he's lined up on A.J. Boye. So while things might look gloomy right now, don't be shocked if this Jets defense or this Jets offense comes out and they produce better than expected in the passing game, because the Jaguars do have these hiccups in the passing game and against the run at times when they shouldn't, when looking at the talent that they have.
Well, one of the Jets' biggest problems is their offensive line and just stopping the pass rush. And then a favorite player of both of us was Josh Allen. What are your thoughts of Josh Allen, as it seems like he's doing a great job in his rookie year already?
It's crazy to say the least, because you look at the offensive side and what Gardner Minshew is doing. He's like third in the rookie of the year voting in terms of how Vegas is viewing it and the odds, should I say. So you got a rookie of the year candidate that came out of the 6th round on the offensive side that nobody expected to even be there. And then you look on the defensive side, oddly enough, although Josh Allen isn't up there in terms of the Vegas odds and this, that, and the other, the argument could be made for Josh Allen that he should be the defensive rookie of the year. So you're looking at this class that the Jags have, and pretty much it's looking like they have both an offensive rookie of the year candidate and a defensive rookie of the year candidate. And the thing about Josh Allen, I saw a stat the other day, he's like one of the most double-team players in football right now, and he still produced 5 sacks somehow. He's a guy that, a lot of people, he's better against the run than people expected. He's a very well-built young man. Like, I don't think the college tapes did him any justice in terms of how he looked in Kentucky. He's a very muscular young man, and he's a guy that's hard to move off the ball when it comes to running the ball. And he's a guy that's going to always be around the pass rusher or around the quarterback when pass rushing. And he's really filled out his expectations in terms of what we expected from him. And he's a guy that, again, like I don't know how the Jets keep getting lucky with guys falling in their lap, but when guys fall in the Jaguars' lap, they take advantage of it. And this is another case of where Josh Allen simply shouldn't have been there at the 7th round or the 7th overall pick. He should have been gone well before then, and he's making the league pay for it. And when you look at the film on him, you can see clear as day that this guy should have been probably a top 4 pick. But, you know, being that we got him with the 7th overall pick, we'll gladly take it. And, expect him to make some flashes against the Jets this Sunday.
Yeah, he was one of the guys that I loved. We had pre-draft shows, and I talked about him quite a bit. I was hoping that we would be able to take him, but, you know, we took Quentin Williams, which I'm happy with as well. But, you know, Josh looks like he's turning into exactly what I thought he was going to turn into at that time. But another guy that you have on your defense that's a complete beast is Myles Jack. What are your thoughts about him and what he's brought to the table for you guys this year?
Yeah, I will always say this, that Myles Jack, when I watched him on film at UCLA, he was the most versatile player I've ever seen or I've ever evaluated in my life. And, I mean, I'm fairly young, so that I don't have an extensive record of scouting. But we're talking about a young man that he came there, he played running back at UCLA, scored multiple touchdowns as a running back at that. He played both sides at one point in time. He's a guy that played linebacker at times. He lined up with his hand in the dirt, as a defensive lineman, played some defensive back. He was a guy that lined up at cornerback for a whole game, or most of a game, should I say, and shut down Nelson Aguilar, who we all know is with the Philadelphia Eagles right now. So he's just a freak of nature from that standpoint. But he has struggled mightily, especially these last 2 years. I think it's really hurt that Paul Posluszny retired last year. It's really hurt that Telvin Smith isn't there anymore as well. He was a Pro Bowl caliber linebacker, and, you know, Myles Jack is really that guy in terms of the linebacker room. And a lot of those guys either haven't been in the room long enough or they are younger than Myles. And, it's really starting to show now. He's made plays here and there throughout the year, but he definitely hasn't played to the level that most had expected, especially after getting a contract extension this year. But that being said, I think against the Jets, he should be fine, especially with the struggles of Sam Darnold right now. But he's a guy that I guess you could say other teams have taken advantage of at times this year. I can recall, I think it was the Carolina Panthers. He didn't have all that good of a game against. But then again, I mean, like, who can cover Christian McCaffrey? You know, like, I guess that's a little bit unfair to put on him. But, yeah. He kind of struggled with that game, and he's kind of struggled throughout the season. Just, you know, it's escaping me the other games that he struggled through. But, he's a guy that definitely is a leader of this defense, and he does have to step up his game heading into the back end of the season if they want to make the postseason. And I think they can begin now for him with the New York Jets coming up.
Now, you talked a little bit about Sam Darnold there. How do you think the defense will attack Sam Darnold in this game?
That's a good question. I think Gase is going to try and get the ball out of his hands as soon as possible, to be honest with you. So I don't know if they can. This is one of those games that they can rely on the pass rush. I honestly think Adam Gase is going to go with utilizing, and I know he hasn't had the season that most expected, but I think he's going to utilize Le'Veon Bell this game in particular, because when you look at it, Jacksonville Jaguars are dealing with some injuries just as you guys are. I know they had like 19 people on the Jets injury report this week. The Jaguars had quite a few injuries, not that much, not that extensively, but the Jaguars are going into this game without 2 of their 3 starting linebackers. And it's funny, we just talked about Myles Jack. He's the only starting linebacker that will play in Sunday's game. So Najee Good, who's one of their better run stuffers, he's out with a toe injury. Leon Jacobs, who's one of their better run stuffers, is out with a hamstring injury. He plays strong side. Good plays on the weak side. And their second string weak side linebacker, Quincy Williams, brother of Quentin Williams. I know you all saw the bet that they got going on with the game, but he's also out. So the Jaguars are better at the linebacker position. They had to sign two people, former Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith. They had to sign him this week. They signed Donald Payne, who was with the Jaguars this summer. He's familiar with the scheme and all of that stuff. And they had to promote Joe Giles Harris from the practice squad. So that tells you where they are at the linebacker position. And I think Adam Gase will realize that they also will be without Marcel Darius, their top interior run defender in terms of the defensive tackle position. He's been put on IR, so he's pretty much done for the season. He was put on IR today. But he's a guy that does a lot of the dirty work in the interior for the Jaguars. He's a guy that commands a lot of double teams, this, that, and other, and he will not be there. And I think that is where, albeit, the Jets' offensive line is banged up as well. So, but I think if the Jets stand any chance, it's, taking advantage of the front seven and trying to get Le'Veon Bell going in between those guys, because Le'Veon Bell has had success against the Jacksonville Jaguars when he was with the Steelers. And Le'Veon Bell is a guy that's also had success against them as a pass catcher as well. So look for a lot of that as well. I just said it. Miles Jack struggled against Christian McCaffrey in coverage. That's another area where they may look to expose a mismatch and take advantage of the Jaguars.
So, James, as you look at this game, and you just did a phenomenal job of breaking down all the matchups from the Jaguars' perspective, what is your level of confidence going into this game? Is this a game you think the Jaguars should win, must win, that kind of scenario?
It's definitely would say it's a game they must win because they're in the weakest part of their schedule and they're trying to break 500, and they need to enter the second part of their schedule at 500. It's a game that they should win because, quite frankly, I think we all would agree the Jaguars are more talented than the New York Jets. That being said, I believe they will win, but the thing is, I think it's going to be a very ugly matchup, and it's kind of going to be what we saw last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, where they kind of struggled to get going early in the game, but towards the end of the game, they kind of found themselves and kind of put their foot on the accelerator, if you would, and finish strong there. But like I said, because of the injuries, that could hamper the Jaguars, that could hurt them there. And again, it's not just me either. A lot of people aren't the most confident in Todd Wash, our defensive coordinator, because there's been inconsistency with the defense in general. And most of us would agree, when you look at the talent on this defense, there is no way that they should be as inconsistent as they are. And they run a little bit too much prevent defense for, some people's blood. They don't run enough man-to-man for some people's blood. And, again, you factor all of that in and the success Robbie Anderson has had against them, the success that Le'Veon Bell has had against them through the air, that can present a problem for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, I know the spread is at this point, I think it's 6.5 in favor of the Jags. I think it's going to be closer than that. I think the Jaguars will win, but it might be one of those games decided by a field goal or, maybe a little bit more than that. But this is a game that it wouldn't shock me that the Jets stay in this game into the fourth quarter. And granted, all the injuries, as I said. So, the Jets, it probably will look like the Jets have a good chance to win this one early in the game and in the fourth quarter. And, they could stick with the Jaguars all throughout. It would not shock me at all. That should not be the case. But, like I said, with Todd Wash and the job he's done on defense, I am concerned. I will say that.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your time tonight, man. I know it's a Friday night. You probably want to do a lot of other things. Give out all your information for the best way for everybody to give you a follow.
Yeah, fellas, it's always fun coming on and talking with y'all, man. I always enjoy it. And, I was kind of busy this week, and make no mistake about it, I was like, man, I want to talk some football with these guys, though, man. So I had to come on and talk some football with y'all. And all of my plans went down the drain anyway because it's a rainy day down here. So it all worked out perfectly, man. So I appreciate y'all. Anytime y'all need to talk football, Jags football, feel free to hit me up. I appreciate y'all reaching out again. You can follow me at sportsgrind_done on Twitter. You can follow our podcast at JagsDen Podcast is where you can follow it on Twitter. JaguarsWire.usatoday.com is where you can follow the Jaguars Wire. And you can follow our Twitter handle for the site at the Jaguars Wire on Twitter.
James, awesome spot, man. We definitely appreciate your time. Have a good night and enjoy the game on Sunday.
Will do, and y'all enjoy the game as well, man. Thanks for having me on again.
No problem. Have a good night. You know, Joe, that was a really interesting spot there because he provided a lot of information on a variety of things. And, you know, I've actually watched the Jaguars Saints. I've watched a couple of Jaguars games just by going to sports bars and stuff like that. And it's interesting because on paper you're like, oh, they're 3-4. There's this and that. And like you said, they do have a lot of talent, a lot of names that we don't know, but very talented players.
They do. Yeah, and I want to thank James for coming on. He gave us phenomenal knowledge. I mean, he knows what he is talking about when he's talking about these Jags. And like you said, they do. They have a lot of talent defensively. And, I mean, they do have some guys that fly around, but there's, you know, some times where you're thinking, they should do a little bit more. But, man, they got guys over there. He talked about Josh Allen, the impact that young kid has already had on the defense. Calais Campbell's over there as well. You know, even though Ramsey's gone, Trey Herndon's still over there doing his thing. They also got A.J. Oboye as well. That's a guy on the other side that can really shut things down. So this team has quite a bit of talent, especially with Garner now stepping up in that QB role. Like he said in the past, I know he didn't want to bash Blake Bortles, but Blake was holding that offense back, okay, clearly. I mean, you watch the tape of him from what you're seeing this year, and there's a drastic difference. So, you know, Garner can definitely push the ball down the field, and they got some weapons over there as well, especially with, like I said, big Leonard Fournette, man. That guy is a complete beast.
Yeah, and just sticking with Leonard Fournette, if you go to the Jets injury report, they have some serious problems. And, I mean, I don't want to start bashing Joe Douglas again. I'll say that, I guess, for Tuesday. But C.J. Mosley's out, which obviously, it's just ridiculous. C.J. Mosley shouldn't have played last week, but whatever. They mishandled that. So Mosley's out. You have, obviously Avery Williamson's out. Now you have Neville Hewitt out. So basically, you're starting inside linebackers are Blake Cashman and Brandon Copeland, who doesn't even play there. So it's going to probably be James Burgess. Like, you cannot ask. I mean, like, for an offense that is going to try to run the ball down your throat, your two middle linebackers shouldn't even be starting. Like, it's just like, geez, like, great. We'll start with that, Joe. Like, and even Albert McLennan's got a friggin' concussion. So even your other, they're like down like their fourth string middle linebacker at this point. Yeah,
I mean, this could come at a worse time.
Disaster.
Honestly, CJ, it looks a lot of people, reports going back and forth saying he might not play for the rest of the year. Whatever this is, and again, Gaze, hey, I'm going to do a deep dive. I don't know. What the hell is this deep dive everyone keeps? What the hell are you guys diving?
Whatever he's diving for, just stay there.
I'm saying, this is new phrase or something that everybody's using. Oh, deep dives here, deep dives there. Why don't you just figure it out? Where the hell are you guys diving to, man? But look, this situation with Mosley, it really sucks because we saw the impact that he had for our defense in that Bills game. He, misses some times, and he finally comes back, and he just does not look right. Like I said, there's been a lot of reports saying that it may be something more than a groin injury, and that he probably won't be playing for the rest of the year, and we'll probably see him on IR soon, which pretty much sucks. Like you said, now you're looking at Cashman being out there, and Copeland being starting because Hewitt's dealing with an injury. Look, Leonard Fournette is a monster, and you're not just a monster because you can handle the football. He can run the rock. He can also come out the backfield and catch the football as well. You want to come on. You want to talk about a guy that could come out the backfield and catch the football? That's Leonard Fournette. They do a lot of that stuff. So if you can't keep up with him, it's going to be a long day. I mean, it sucks.
Did you see Cashman last week? Cashman couldn't cover last week. Now he's your lead guy. He's your best inside linebacker now.
Hey, man, listen. We got to work with what we got. I mean, what can you do? I don't exactly understand what the hell is going on.
You know what I can do, Joe?
I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more.
Man, I'm telling you, I already know. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to join you as well, taking shots left and right. I mean, I don't get it. But again, this even goes back to last week when we were all questioning, hey, why is C.J. Mosley in this game? Why don't you guys pull him? If he can't play, then, sit him down for a little bit. You got to wonder how much of, that game re-aggravating whatever the injury is, how much that's going to impact him going forward. And if that would truly end this season, was it, the last game we played on Monday night. So, man, this sucks, but it is what it is, and we got to go forward. It's just this is completely ridiculous.
Yeah, they completely mishandled that. But I will give my lecture on Joe Douglas on Tuesday. So Neville Hewitt out, C.J. Mosley out, McLennan out.
Oh.
I mean, James Burgess and Blake Cashman, that middle linebacker, is a complete nightmare. Turn it to Brandon Copeland for trying to play middle, but it's easy. Attack those guys. Spread them out. Make them run around. Make them cover running backs out of the backfield. The game plan will be very obvious what they're going to do. Continuing on this injury report, I mean, it's just ridiculous, dude. It's like Chris Herndon's out again, and it's just like, dude, like there's like guys that you want to see something big out of this year. Like, they get high expectations for so many players, and they're all hurt. Mosley's going to be out. Yeah. Herndon's out. He already missed games for a suspension, and now this. It's like, dude, just can these guys get on the goddamn field? So now it's like you don't have him, but Ryan Griffin's there, so it's okay. But then you go to the offensive line, and Osemele's out again. Well, he's doubtful. I mean, that's because that's what the Jets are doing, because they're just stupid. They want to play this game. It's just let's just embarrass ourselves more, because being 1-5 is not embarrassing enough. Being a laughingstock is not embarrassing enough. Let's play the injury report game now too. It really looks like jackasses. But he's out. You have Ryan Khalil who's practicing, but he's kind of banged up. Joe, what do you think about Edoga playing left tackle against these pass rushers we just spent a half hour talking about?
Man, let me tell you, I mean, he's going to have to be over there. I'm worried about it because, again, we saw what we saw last week where guys there was a jailbreak out there. You couldn't get anybody blocked. I talked about Chuma, USC guy. I didn't necessarily think he'd be ready first year. He's had some solid games, and he's also struggled quite a bit. So I think that's where you have to put him, because you cannot put Brandon Shell over there. I know that. I'm worried about Brandon Shell over there at right tackle. I mean, Brandon Shell was horrible against him. He's been horrible all season. So I think our tackle position is trash. As of right now, I think Chuma is definitely going to come about, years to come. I think he'll really work himself into being a solid tackle. I don't know if he'll ever be a really good left tackle, but I think he'll be a really solid right tackle, as he continues to progress in this league. But Brandon Shell is complete garbage. Ryan Khalil being hurt really doesn't matter, because he's played like trash either way. That's a guy who needs to find his ass on the bench. I don't understand why we haven't benched him yet, but we've just continued to play him, so it is what it is. But, man, this offensive line has to block these guys coming up front, because let me tell you something. The Patriots defense, phenomenal. We all know that. This Jaguars defense has some players on it, too. And let me tell you, these guys get after it, and they punish people. They punish people for real. Guys like Yannick, we talked about Calais Campbell, who's still having very solid games, and this guy to, get up there at age. We talked about Miles Jack. Josh Allen, the kid I loved coming out the draft. This guy is flying. If you do not get these guys blocked, Sam's going to have an early Halloween, because he's going to be seeing more ghosts, more ghouls, and more goblins. Let me tell you something. Witches flying on brooms. It's going to get crazy out there. I'm telling you. There's Ouija boards, all types of weird stuff going on. Trick or treat, because these guys are going to bang him around, and they're going to jack him up. So there better be some type of plan. I understand that there's injuries. Whatever, you have to make sure that this offensive line communicates and can get guys blocked. And Adam Gase, the light is going to be on him. This offensive game plan needs to be tight. And I know we said that every game, and I don't like Adam Gase. Neither does half the callers. Neither do you. But he's got to get it together, because if he doesn't, I'm telling you, he's going to get Sam literally broken in half.
Yeah, this matchup here, and I'm glad James said what he said, because I kind of agree with his game plan. It's like, listen, you have to get the ball in Le'Veon Bell's hands, and you got to find a way to attack the middle. Take advantage of the injured linebackers, do that, because if not, if you go in 3rd and long, Josh Allen's going to have a field day, because his speed and athleticism, we don't have the guys to stop him. We've proven that. The Patriots are fundamentally sound. The Patriots brought everything, and obviously you can't use the same scheme because they're just very talented. But the Jaguars have freak athletes. Calais Campbell's older, he's good. Yannick is just a beast. Miles Jack, dude, they have just explosive guys. So the thing is, if you could find time to get the ball into Jamison Crowder's hand over the middle, Le'Veon Bell out of the backfield, use Ty Montgomery out of the backfield, it's got to be quick strikes, Joe, because you just can't let Sam sit back there.
Yeah, you can't. And look, I understand saying, hey, they can't do the exact same scheme that the Patriots did, but they can borrow some of the same concepts.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's going to work. If you press Robbie Anderson, let's press Robbie Anderson. That takes away your deep there. Who else is going to beat us? Oh, old ass Demaryius Thomas, you going to keep drawing up plays for him? We can take him away easily. So after that, it's like another guy's got to step up. Can you get Crowder the football? Are you going to work him into the offense? We can talk about Le'Veon Bell coming out that backfield, but let me tell you, you got guys streaming. This might be a game where you might want to keep Le'Veon in the backfield to block. He's one of the better blocking backs in the league. Let's not let him do anything except for block this game. So that might take him out the game plan entirely because you might need to keep him back there for Sam. So that's why I keep saying, like, look, Adam Gase has got to get innovative. You come out here with these dumbass screens, the same screens that you were running with the Broncos. Look, I'm keeping it real. You come out here with these dumbass screens that you've been running all your life, the same ones that you was running with the Broncos that everybody knows, the same ones that Demaryius was running when he was with the Broncos that everybody sees, they're going to sniff that out. That is very easy to figure out. I can figure it out. Tyson can figure it out. Everybody knows when those screens are coming.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Look, if you're gonna run some screens, you gotta run some different kinds of screens, some inside screens. There's different kinds of screens out there. Adam Gase, you don't have to run the same ones that you've been running for 50 years. That's not how it works here. These guys are going to be looking for that stuff. So a big part of this offense is guys got to win. You got to win at that line. You got to get off. You got to get away from that corner. You got to get a good release, and you got to be able to catch that ball because, listen, they're going to bring the heat. The news is out. The Jets can't handle the blitz. The news is out, okay? I mean, that was a primetime game in front of everybody. Jets can't handle the blitz. They're going to do some of the same exact things. They're going to bring guys, a lot of them, and we've got to get the ball out quickly. But guys have got to block, man, because if they don't block, and Sam again, he feels that pressure, I'm telling you, he's going to throw interceptions. Because that happens to damn near every quarterback when they get pressure in their face like that and they get beat up and beat around like that, especially if guys are not getting open, especially if the offensive game plan is not helping them out either. When you got guys running go routes that take 30 years to open up instead of running slants so they can get off quick and get the football. Like, these things have to change because, again, going up against the Jags, this is a physical defense. The Patriots are a great defense. They're physical. This is a very physical defense. And they come, and I'm telling you, they bring it straight to you. They bring it straight to you, and they have no problem punching you in the mouth, stepping on you, and keeping it moving.
Yeah, and I think it's pivotal for the Jets to get Sam Darnold right early on. Like, he's saying all the right things. That really means next to nothing for me because now it's like, listen, you played arguably the worst game of your career on the biggest stage, and now it's like you've got to bounce back where everybody's doubting you, everybody's questioning you, and the defense thinks you can't take a hit. And that's what they all think. They think you get skittish. Now they're going to be like, you know what? We're going to hit you. We'll late hit you. We're going to find ways to rattle you. And can you handle it?
Oh, yeah.
And now, Joe, this is a huge test for Sam Darnold. If he has Josh Allen chasing him around, is he going to start throwing the ball? Is he going to get a happy feet? Is he going to turn the ball over? So it's up to Adam Gase to, first of all, have a smart game plan. And then it's up to Sam to play well. Like, Sam has to look the pass rush in the face and say, listen, I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to beat you with it. And I'm going to, I will beat with my arm. And this is going to be a tough challenge, man. Like, I worry about Josh Allen and the speed on the outside getting past, like, Chuma and Brandon Shell. I mean, who we kidding? Like, that's my biggest concern. Like, that if Sam starts off slow and they're like third and long and he's taking a beating, I mean, this could spiral out of control.
Yeah, it does. And, again, turnovers. That's what I'm worried about as well, is all that stuff, that pressure, a bad game plan, something like that, turning into turnovers. We throw some interceptions, some fumbles in this game. I'm telling you, they get up, they run the ball heavily. They're probably going to dominate the time of possession here because they run the football so heavy with Leonard, and they keep that clock rolling. So once you get down against them, dude, it could be a long day for you. So we've got to put together a game plan. I know you said, he's scared to take a shot. Listen, quarterbacks should be scared to take a shot. They shouldn't be getting hit. We've got to make sure he's getting blocked. We've got to make sure these guys up front blocking. Khalil's got to play better. You can't have these high-ass snaps where you snap it into the stands and you're doing all this crazy stuff, and you've been trashed since week one as well. Your blocking has been horrid. These guys have got to step up, and they've got to protect Sam. And Adam Gase has to put a game plan together and make adjustments during the game. Again, I'm going to say this again. He's got to make adjustments during the game to what the Jags are doing. He can't be so married to his game plan, so married to his script that he won't take advantage of what he's seeing out there or fix things that he's seeing are deficiencies. He's got to make an adjustment, period. If he does not, again, oh, yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you guys. Like Adam, this is on Adam Gase, and this is a big game for him. There's a lot of people that are screaming. Look, I'm not going to get into firing Adam Gase and stuff like that, but there's a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of people that watch that game that are already screaming that, and it's because of the things that I'm talking about right now. That's why I'm highlighting them. Okay, because this is something I talked about coming into the season, and I thought he was going to be horrible at, and he is horrible at these things because that's what we saw in Miami. Seems like the exact same coach. He's got to change these things. He's got to make adjustments during the game, and he's got to fix up the game flow.
Yeah, and defensively, I think the game plan is going to be pretty obvious. And the first thing it's obvious is stop Leonard Fournette, but it's also the mobility of the quarterback. Man, it's got to be a huge concern, especially when you consider the fact that Jets linebacking group is completely decimated. I mean, Gardner Minshew can just run around, he buys time, he airs the ball deep. So now it's like the Jets have lacked a pass rush to begin with. Now you have two middle linebackers that are completely dazed and confused. I mean, it's not ideal. So it's like you want to sell out to stop Fournette, which is going to be a challenge. And then it's like if you let Minshew buy time in the pocket, run around, and he can actually run too. He's averaging almost 6 yards a carry when he runs. I mean, that opens up so many things, man. And you know, like James mentioned, all these, you know, they have speedsters. You look at their average the catches for these guys. It's like DJ Chark is like 17 yards a catch. Westbrook's like 12 yards. I mean, these guys fly, dude. So this is.
And I'll tell you what. I don't know if Tremaine, because I know Tremaine's dealing with that ankle injury and he's limited. I believe he is going to.
I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What in the living hell? What do they do in practice? The Jets get more players injured in practice than they do in the game. Like, what are they doing in practice?
I don't know, man.
Like, what could they possibly be doing? Every freaking day, somebody's getting hurt in practice. I don't understand.
Man, you got me. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how all these guys are ending up with these injuries and practice and stuff like that, but I tell you what, if Tremaine does go, you better figure out some way to hide him because DJ Chark is all about business. I know he's a young kid, but we've seen Tremaine get beat by everybody. We've seen him get beat by Tyson. I've seen Primetime score a couple TDs on him. Papa Sirkin has got a couple catches as well. I think he had $150 on him before. I mean, everybody's catching footballs left and right on this guy, and he can't stop anybody. We've seen him get beat by undrafted, rookies. I mean, it's just completely ridiculous. And so with the speed that these guys bring, I'm telling you, he gets ghosted, it's going to be 6 every time, especially with us, because I don't think we'll be able to really get a pass rush on Garner. So especially if Garner's getting out the pocket and just launching footballs down the field, he's going to find Chark and he's going to connect with him because Tremaine Johnson just gets lost in space. He's just, dude, he is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some matchups they can take advantage of. We saw D.D. Westbrook have a career king last year. There's some legitimate concerns. The Jets would almost be lucky if Tremaine does get hurt because Nate Hairston was actually better than him. He plays a lot more competitive, a lot more physical.
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Why the hell is Hairston not starting? I don't understand that. I don't understand this. If he played better than him, why isn't he being started? Why is Tremaine started? What for? We've seen him. That dude is stealing. He is literally stealing money from the Jets right now. He's not playing. There's little effort. He's just giving up on plays. Why is he starting? Why is he being allowed to start? Where's the accountability? Where is it? This makes no sense, man. It don't make no damn sense.
Dude, I don't have the answers for it, man. I've it's funny because like I used to look forward to doing the Friday night shows. Like I'm gonna do some X's and O's. I'm gonna start researching things, and it's like I don't trust our coaching staff, so I don't even do that. Because I'm like, common sense isn't going to prevail here. I expect chaos and confusion and miscommunication and finger pointing. And the other thing I expect, and this is the thing I really want to keep an eye on, is if the defense holds their own and the offense starts spitting the bit again, dude, it's only a matter of time for the fingers really start pointing. And you can see, Jamal Adams the last game was really close to just unloading. A lot of these guys, you can see on their face, they're starting to get really pissed. If this offense is completely dreadful while the defense is holding their own, dude, it's only a matter of time, man. You could just see it.
Oh, man. I'm telling you that we all know, and I'm right there with you. We can all see it. You can see the pressure starting to build and build. Like you said, if the defense plays well enough to keep us in the game, but the offense is just horrid and can't move the football or is causing turnovers, it's just leaving the defense out there a hell of a lot longer than they should be on the field. Man, I'm telling you, I could see a guy just absolutely letting off, saying something he probably shouldn't say to the media and just really starting that spin cycle of the circus.
Yep. I mean, so we'll do is, before we go into our predictions and stuff, we'll go to phone calls. We'll bring on Primetime a little bit to get his insight. And listen, Jet fans, we get it, man. We're all down. Like win or lose, I'm just not emotionally invested in it because I'm just so disgusted right now at how this team is being run on and off the field. I'm just disgusted. So we're doing the best we can to keep this going, but I mean, it's very, very difficult right now to root for this team. It's very difficult. This team's a nightmare. It's between Tuesday. I can tell you right now, win or lose, tune in on Tuesday. I have a treat for you because I'm doing a Joe Douglas report. I'm going to unload my anger on this front office. I got so much anger I can't get rid of. It's just win or lose, Tuesday's going to be a blast. I guarantee you Tuesday's going to be a fun show because I'm just pissed. So we're going to go to our good friend. And you know what, Joe? We're going to bring Steve on. Steve, how you doing, man?
Yeah. What's up, guys?
You tell me. What's up?
Just listening to the show earlier and, about the getting ready for this game against Jacksonville on Sunday.
Okay, so what are your 3 keys to the game?
Stopping Leonard Fournette. You got to put the pressure on Gardner Minshew and protect Sam.
Yeah, Steve, you're already bringing the heat. I want to thank you for calling in, man. I love talking to you, love hearing your opinions about this team. But when you look at the situation with Darnold right now, he's coming off of a game where there was a lot of guys in his face. Are you concerned that he'll be scared and be staring at the rush in this game because the Jags have a lot of guys that can get after it as well?
The thing that I'm most concerned about this game is on how this offensive line is going to do. I mean, because they played absolutely horrible on Monday Night Football against the Patriots. I mean, the player that does worry me the most about Jacksonville's defensive front is Calais Campbell. I mean, Calais Campbell. I mean, if Ryan Khalil is going to have to start, which I really, really hope he doesn't, but I know he is going to start. But if Calais Campbell, he could have a field day with Ryan Khalil. And the other one that I'm worried about too is their first-round pick in Josh Allen and Myles Jack. I mean, here's the thing. Jacksonville's defense is not what it was in the past, but they're still very good. And that just worries me with our offensive line.
Steve, are you worried about Robbie Anderson kind of being distracted with all this trade talk surrounding him?
Well, I mean, listen, I know Robbie Anderson is on the verge of saying, if it's true that he's going to be traded. I mean, right now, listen, Robbie Anderson is on the Jets right now, and I know that his focus should hopefully be for Sunday against Jacksonville.
Okay. Now, if you had to say who has a better coaching staff, would you take Doug Marrone and his staff or Adam Gase and the Jets staff?
Honestly, Doug Marrone has a better coaching staff than the Jets do.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Steve. How important is it for us to get Le'Veon Bell going early in this game?
It's actually very important. I mean, I know because I have one thing that I have seen that Jacksonville has had some issues with on their defensive side. It has been one of their issues. They do have a hard time, when the running back is in the backfield catching the balls, and they've had some misplays in the season. I mean, if we get Le'Veon Bell, started off really, really good, to start this game off, it could definitely be a really, really big help. The thing, though, that I look into this game is, looking on Jacksonville's offensive side of the ball. I mean, you guys were saying this too. I mean, it's just ever since Gardner Minshew has taken over when Nick Foles got the injury back in week number 1 against Kansas City, it's just everybody has been so hyped on him, and everybody all calls him like, one of the next best quarterbacks just because, he's performed well in games. I mean, hey, listen, there will be at times in this game where the Jets have to make Minshew make mistakes. I mean, Minshew, I'll give him credit. He has done a very good job, in his rookie season. But the Jets have to try to make him make rookie mistakes. Like, they got to put pressure on him. They got to, make them throw balls into – they got to make them throw balls into areas where the Jets can make plays on the defense. But I'll tell you one thing. It's just the one thing I'm not going to be looking forward to on Sunday is it's just that, and I have a feeling that Tremaine Johnson could get torched again by one of these Jaguars receivers. It's just I just can't see Tremaine on the field anymore in the green and white. I just can't see it anymore.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would see Harrison out there, but I want to go back to something that you talked about making, Garner make those mistakes and getting pressure. You look at this linebacking core, C.J. Mosley's not going to be playing. What are you expecting out of it? Because it's so banged up, it's looking like you're going to have Cashman and Copeland out there at inside linebacker.
Listen, I know the Jets are really banged up at the linebacking position, with Mosley being out, Avery Williamson out for the season, Neville Hewitt being out. I mean, it's just our only best veteran player we have on that linebacking crew is Copeland. I mean, listen, Copeland is a hard-working player, but at the same time, though, he's going to have to come up big. And the same thing with Blake Cashman. I mean, Blake Cashman is coming off of one of his worst games as a rookie against New England. But you know what? I think if Brandon Copeland and Blake Cashman can find a way, to make some key tackles in the game, if they got to try to catch Leonard Fournette in the backfield, hey, listen, hopefully it will be a big day for them, but, we're going to see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah, I think you may see a lot of James Burgess, too. I mean, I think they're going to have to. They're going to bring guys, middle linebackers in there that actually have played there before. So, Steve, do you want to win a Jamal Adams poster?
Sure. What do I have to do?
You're going to have to answer some trivia questions. I'm not going to give you anything. You have to answer them quickly, though. We don't have time to be wasting a lot of time on this. Okay, so you ready?
I'm ready.
How many career interceptions in the NFL does Jamal Adams have?
3.
Wrong. Okay. How many sacks does he have? How many total sacks does he have?
4.
Oh, you're killing me, man. What college did he go to?
LSU.
All right, so he got 1 out of 3. He's got 1, Joe. I mean, he's getting there.
Yeah.
What else could we? I mean, how many career touchdowns does he have in the NFL?
Jamal Adams, only 1.
Oh.
All right, Steve, you won. You got the poster. So make sure you direct message us your address, and we'll send you a poster, Jamal Adams poster.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much.
And what's your score prediction?
You know what, guys? You think you're going to call me crazy, but I think that on Sunday that this could be a trap game for Jacksonville. I think the Jets will win on Sunday. Hey, listen, I'll make my score prediction. I'm going to go 2017 Jets.
Oh, all the Kool-Aid, all of it. Have a good night, Steve. Make sure you send us your address, man.
All right, no problem. Good night.
See, Joe. Joe, isn't that like that's a feel-good moment, right? Now we gave Steve a prize. Are you feeling better about things now? Is it a better environment around here?
Yeah, listen, first off, I want to thank Steve for calling in. And that's good. I'm glad that he got the poster. I know he loves, Jamal Adams. It's always good to, give back. But, he's fired up. He loves his team, and he predicted himself a win. So, it is what it
Lord
is.
have mercy.
I don't necessarily know if it's a trap. I don't know who's getting trapped here, but, it is what it is. That's the way he felt about it. And, he called in and gave us his take. So shout out to Steve. Enjoy that poster.
The only way we're getting trapped is if we're busy deep diving.
That deep dive.
This freaking coach, man.
I'm so tired of hearing about deep dives.
I'm just tired of. I just want to unplug his microphone. I'm tired of hearing his mouth at this point.
Well,
we're gonna go to our good friend Tyrone. Tyrone, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, man? I'd like to apologize for my language on Tuesday, but I was wasn't very excited.
I had 45 minutes of editing because of you, but that's all right.
Hey man, it's all good.
Man,
everybody gets upset, man. We completely get it. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
You know what's so crazy, fellas? Man, it's like 2 months ago, man. We were all excited, and we just sound like just some depressed. Like, just some sad people being Jet fans, man. It's just horrible. Like, I get the updated injury report every day, right? And it just gets longer and longer and worse and worse.
Yep.
And it seems like, you ask Steve, who had the better coaching staff. I don't even know if we have a coaching staff. I don't even know what you would accumulate this to be. No, I'm being serious, man, because there is no way. I've never seen an NFL team with a worse offensive line than us. Bill Belichick just playing the blueprint for every team that plays us. Zero blitz, Sam. I mean, what can you do? I mean, you're really killing a young player that could be a really good player, and you're not making any adjustments. Listen, I mean, you have third, fourth string people who can come in and perform better than what we have, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. And these long, drawn-out plays you want to do, it's not working, bro. I mean, and then, man, and this Tremaine Johnson situation, man, this is what's making me hate football. Like, I mean, I'm to the point now, like, I actually watched that whole New England game, bro, and I don't know if I threw up in my mouth like 4 or 5 times, but I think I did. I'm not sure, but that was horrible, man. And if you notice, every game we lose, it's really him. Like, these guys are beating him by 10 to 15 yards every single play. Now, Jacksonville has 2 fast receivers. So you're telling me instead of putting Harrison out there, you're going to put Tremaine Johnson? You might as well just not even put nobody out there, bro. I mean, you might as well just get him. It's nuts to me. Like, no, seriously, man, there's no way Greg Williams could be this defensive genius, and you got this bum out there. That's just nuts. I mean, he's getting beat by 10 to 15 yards. Listen, if you guys know this, you guys say it on the show all the time. He plays 15 yards off the player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a 5-7 yard screen every single time. If you listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you run a 7 yard dig crossing route across the field, Tremaine Johnson, you would kill him every time. He's running behind the receiver.
But it's gonna get even worse though. Here's why it's gonna get worse, because now you have 2 middle linebackers there that don't play middle linebacker. Well, I mean, Blake Cashman plays, but he's not very good, or he's struggling. And then you have Brandon Copeland, who's gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" in the middle. Or you have you could just see the potential for mistakes on defense just in the middle of the field, like crossing routes, things like that. I mean, the Jaguars have a field day, man. They really could.
Well, what scares me the most about that is I'm not as more concerned about that as you guys are making it, and I'm going to tell you why. I think my biggest issue with that's going to be who's going to make the defensive calls. That's what scares me.
Exactly.
You can't have Copeland making the calls. You have Cashman making the calls, which is something he's not. They might have been working in the morning, but he's not going to be ready for that. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always go with 3 safeties. You know what I'm saying? And use Jamal as a linebacker. That could, you know what I'm saying? It's ways around that. And then I think the strong point that really helped that is, our front 4 is really good. I mean, they haven't been performing great, but they are very good and formidable. So I'm not as worried about Fournette getting those big gash and runs on them like that. He'll get his yards, but, them out the back. So I just think making calls is the biggest issue. But this is what happens when you have a coach who says that, he's going to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And all these fans that are saying that Mosley shouldn't have played, man, everybody go ahead with that, man. Everybody was chiming for Mosley to come back. You know what I'm saying? And no one knew New England was going to blow us out like that. But that just shows the depth of the team.
When he was walking he walked into the stadium with a limp. If you watch the pregame show, you watch him on ESPN, when he walked into the locker room, he had a slight limp. That was going into the locker room.
See, I didn't see that part, bro. No, but I'm going to be honest with you, man. If he wasn't 100%, he shouldn't have played. If you had any indication that he could be re-injured and be out for the season, it made no sense to play him anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just think he got so with Neville. I think with Neville being out, they rushed him back, and that's, like you said, that's a mistake. But that's coaching. I'm just being honest with you. We're talking about Rich Kotite type stuff, man. This is the worst Jets team I've ever seen, and we got more talent on this team than we had since 2008 and 2009.
Exactly.
This is the worst coach team I've ever seen. Like, watching that New England game, man, I didn't even want to be a Jet fan no more. I'm like, I don't even want to do this, man. Like, listen, no BS. I went to the doctor today. My blood pressure was high, right? And my doctor's like, what are you doing different? What's going on? Are you eating something different? I said, no, Doc, I'm a Jets fan. This is the problem I'm having in my life. Like, every single week is depression. You know what I'm saying? It's just so frustrating watching this, man. It's so frustrating getting myself motivated to watch a game Sunday, a team that we should be able to beat. And I don't even care how many more games we win this season. We have took a step back with the players, and now we're talking about trading Robbie, like, for real. Like, you have nobody for Sam to throw the ball to. So you trade Robbie. That's your next best move when you got your go ahead.
And Tyrone, and I'm sorry, Tyrone. I know you're venting, and listen, we're here and we hear you. We right there with you. It is extremely frustrating watching this team, especially like you said, offensively how bad we've been. I think we're damn near dead last in almost every offensive stat and category that matters here in the NFL. And this is a NFL that has the Dolphins in it. We're a talented team. We have talent on our offensive side of the football, but it's just not clicking. We got an offensive guru head coach that isn't getting it together. But you were touching on Robbie and the trade rumors that are surrounding him. And I'm wondering, do you think that Robbie could be affected by those trade rumors, where we could see him, kind of take his eye off of the prize as far as games here with us, as far as his attention span during the game as well, because he thinks he's going to get traded anyway?
Nah, I don't think so, man. I'll be honest with you, man. I think Robbie's waiting on that check, bro. Like, I think Robbie's going to, if he's open, I think Robbie wants the ball. I think that, and the one thing I do think we have an advantage at is Robbie has killed them over the past years, even with Ramsey. Robbie's held his own. But the problem is, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't know if you guys remember last week, I keep bringing this game up, but Le'Veon was getting some really good runs. And Le'Veon is starting to get to that old Le'Veon. If you guys are noticing, he's getting chunk plays. He's starting to get, you know what I'm saying, his vision is getting better, and they go away from it. You know what I'm saying? I would rather them try to establish a running game, even when we have the line. If you let Le'Veon run the ball and let him just break this down, then you can go for Robbie over the top. And I'll tell you something else with their linebacking core. When they really McCaffrey killed them. He murdered them, bro. I think he had 164 yards rushing and like 100 passing, receiving. It was some crazy number like that. So I think that this will be the game that you want to use Ty Montgomery and Le'Veon in the backfield together. It just makes sense, right? But we won't do that. But I'm just saying that, I think Robbie will be focused, man. I think he's a gamer. So, you know what I'm saying, when the lights come on, he'll be ready. Whether he's going to get traded or not, which makes no sense to me.
How worried are you about Sam, getting him started on the right foot, getting him in rhythm, and having him not running for his life early on?
You know what, man? I think in all interviews listening to Sam, I think Sam let that go. I think that's in the back of his head. I think the biggest thing that scares me is his toe. You know what I'm saying? He had his toenail removed, so I hope he's not gun shy. Like, Sam may see, this is the thing about that game right there. Sam may throw them same throws against Dallas. He made them same exact throws against Dallas. Off his back foot, got, feet not right, and they were saying he was a genius. No quarterback could do that. They did see next week. So I just think that with him being young, it's going to be those kind of moments. I just think that he has to calm down, and him seeing ghosts. He's not seeing ghosts. He's just seeing that, okay, the safety was there, now he's not there. Or the safety's coming, he's not coming. You know what I'm saying? They just confused him. They did an excellent job with that. But that comes with a head coach grabbing your player. Hey, man, breathe, calm down, do what you know how to do. That's when your quarterback's in a bind like that, you run the football. You calm him down. You give him some easy throws. You calm the. Listen, the best thing against attacking defense is a quick screen or a quick slant. Have you guys? How many slants have we ran in the last 3 games? I don't remember any of them. It's all 7-8 yard digs. I have no slants. I mean, listen, man. You know what a zero blitz is, bro? That's when you bring the house. If you connect to anybody and miss one tackle, that's a touchdown. I mean, that is just retarded. I told you, we've been doing this, not blocking somebody all season long, bro. Like, what's up with this? And I'm telling you, Jacksonville pass rush is better than the Patriots. I'm telling you, bro. Their pass rush is way better than the Patriots, bro. The Patriots just scheme better. Their actual pass rush is really, really good. So you can only imagine, and then you're not going to help at all. I mean, it's just nuts. I'm so scared that Sam's going to get gunshot. You know what I'm saying? And get that feeling. Because we gave Sam so much credit for feeling pressure against Dallas. He was getting so much pressure, he couldn't even feel it because they was coming from every angle. So you know that's going to happen Sunday. That's coming Sunday. So it's we'll really see what kind of quarterback we got. We'll see what kind of head coach we got that can get these young men prepared. This is putting them in harm's way. And one more last thing, I know you guys got to let me go, but listen. I don't know who implores the offensive line coach. There is no way on God's earth he should have a job. There's no way. Yeah. I don't care who you have. I don't care what's going on. There is no possible way on God's earth this man should have a job. I mean, a job somewhere else because he sucks.
And this is my last question before we let you go, but how much of a distraction do you think the situation with Osemele is becoming for the team?
You know what? This right here, to me, is probably the dumbest thing I think that we've done, and this is what sets us back. This is why I want new ownership, man. Because you know what kind of precedent you set? This is the same thing Trent Williams is setting out for in Washington. Why would you allow that? Okay, you want to recoup your money back? That's fine. Go for that. But don't make a whole big situation to alienate this player. And you're going to alienate every other player that wants to come there. Oh, man, I don't want to go to the Jets. Man, I get hurt, man. They're going to tell me, I got to play. That is so asinine. And so it's such a amateurish type. It just shows you what kind of bad organization we are. You know what I'm saying? This is the organization that shows you that you don't care about your players. You don't care about his safety. If the man is hurt, he can't play, he feels he can't play, why would you want this man out there if he doesn't even want to be out there? You feel me? You should have did better research before you gave him $10 million. It just doesn't make any sense, man. It's nuts. I don't think it's going to be a distraction, but I think in the back of my mind, I think it really turns some players off for either one to come here or one to stay here, man. That's a bad look on our organization, bro. That's a really bad look. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's really stupid. Tyrone, what's your game prediction for Sunday?
Yo, man, I hate to say this, bro. 24-12, Jacksonville.
Oh.
I hope it's the other way around. And you know, Tyson, y'all know I never go against the Jets. But after that Patriots game, bro, I'm not picking them till they win. I need to see something better than what I'm seeing. So, love you guys. Good night. I'm
good night, man. Thanks for calling it.
All right, go.
All right, Joe. What we're going to do, we're going to bring on Mr. Primetime. And I have a bone to pick with Primetime. I actually have a problem with Primetime. So we're going to bring him on.
Okay.
Kevin, what's up, man?
What's going on? What do I do now?
I have a problem with you. You are our Primetime producer. You arm me with all kinds of great stuff. How do I not have any ghost sounds? How do I not have anything ghosts, goblins, nothing to play? This is ludicrous. I have no audio.
All right. It's funny that you would ask, because I have something right on cue, actually.
Is it Ghostbusters? Right. Oh my God!
So Kevin, here's my first question for you. What is your level of confidence with Adam Gase to get Sam Darnold going early on to kind of get rid of any doubts and skittish behavior?
Well, I mean, I think that's the biggest key to the game, just to kind of get Darnold back on track, kind of erase everything that happened on Monday night, and just get him back to square one. And that's going to encompass a lot. It involves, sorting out the offensive line issues. It involves, getting a little bit more creative with your play calling, using some of your weapons more effectively because you still don't have Herndon out there. It's going to involve a lot. So I hope Gase is up for the task, but I don't really have any confidence in it, to be honest.
Yeah. And Kev, I couldn't wait to talk to you about this team, man. You look at these offensive line. Are you looking to shuffle Chuma back over to the right side, or you want him to stay at left tackle and keep Shell on that right side?
At this point, the deed is done. I mean, last week I wanted him to stay put at right tackle just because I felt like he was having some success there. But, at this point, you already moved him over to the left side, so you might as well keep him there. At the very least, you're getting a look at, maybe, potential him being there, long term if you think that's a possible fit. See what happens there. And then, hopefully Lewis and Khalil get their stuff sorted out. I still want to see Harrison at center, to be honest. I don't know why. It's taken so long to make a move there. We keep talking about accountability with Tremaine Johnson. I think the same thing should apply to Ryan Khalil because he's been terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the Jaguars have some explosive pass rushers, man. They have some speed. I mean, Josh Allen, they have Yannick. I mean, they have guys that can fly around. They signed Miles Jack. I mean, it's interesting. Do you think Jamison Crowder will finally get featured a lot and get back to his ways of catching 10, 12 passes maybe?
Hope so. I think it's got to be a combination of him, Le'Veon Bell, and then still taking chances with Robbie Anderson deep. They don't have Jalen Ramsey anymore, so you got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, then on defense, I mean, not having middle linebackers is going to be a big challenge. What do you think? What is the best way to try to control Fournette and the quarterback from running around?
Well, I think, Tyrone kind of touched on it. I think you got to go with a lot of four-man fronts, and, the one thing I would do is, go with a lot of three safeties. Put Montez Miles in there if you can, or, Jamal Adams at linebacker, just add a little bit of speed there, and, hope that the front four does their job, what they're paid to do.
Yeah. But, I mean, Kev, they got some wide receivers that can really fly. I mean, these guys can absolutely go, especially with the ball in their hands. And so, of course, the one guy I'm worried about is Tremaine Johnson. What do you think that they'll be able to do defensively to kind of cover up for his deficiencies?
Take him off the field? I don't know. I mean, how do you really cover him up? I mean, they're gonna go after him. And we saw it last year when we played Jacksonville. I mean, he got torched in that game. So, I think they're probably going to pick on him. And, hopefully Marcus May is giving him some help. And, see what happens. I'm not confident at all, to be honest, with, anything in the secondary right now.
Yeah. And when you look at the defensive line, is this a game where, when you look at the defensive line, is this a game where you'd like to see Quentin Williams really step up and have a big-time impact?
Yeah, I think that's the Jets' only chance, on defense. Like, James was breaking down before. We got to keep Minshew in the pocket and kind of collapse the pocket on him, get pressure that way. I don't think they can really afford to blitz a whole lot with, the speed that Jacksonville has with their wideouts. So, yeah, it's going to be on Quentin and Leo to kind of bring the pressure and, hopefully, live up to those expectations for once.
Prime time, you seem very demoralized and down. What is your level of confidence in a Jets victory on Sunday?
Before we even get to why haven't we talked about KO, and why the hell are we waiting till Tuesday to get into this Joe Douglas thing?
No, I've been. I can't take it. I can't take it. They've mishandled so many things. I don't understand why Joe Douglas is getting a pass. I really don't understand it. I have no idea.
Let's just pretend for 1 second that the Jets are right, that they have some information that, Assembly, he's not as hurt as he says he is. Like, you can't prove that. So what grounds do they have to make that claim and, embarrass themselves the way that they're doing?
Yeah.
You're literally questioning how hurt a player is. It's crazy.
And the injury report today is like, now the league could find him. The league could be like, listen, now you're falsifying your injury report by saying he's doubtful when you know he had surgery today. I mean, they're just opening themselves up for so many problems.
How the hell Douglas or somebody else in the front office hasn't had to address this yet? It's mind-blowing. And it's only going to keep getting worse. The questions aren't going to go away.
Nope. And I mean, hell, Gaze was absolutely grilled by guys at his press conference. And that's another thing that drives me nuts, though. Like, there are so many things that you can grill Gase about. This shouldn't be one of them. This doesn't involve him at all. This is beyond him, or at least it should be. He doesn't get a pass for not talking to Assembly at all. I think that's a bad look. But, he's getting grilled about this, and it's like he doesn't have any control over the situation. Yep. And all this does is really it could drive a divide in the locker room because, again, you got guys that play with KO that think it's complete nonsense. And he said it. He said there's teammates that told him, hey, this is BS. But it also, you might not be able to keep guys that are currently here that we like, that you might want to re-sign them. I said, no, I'm not dealing with you guys at all. I saw how you treated KO. But it also pushes away free agents away from here, which, again, you look at this team, especially what we got coming up in the offseason, we're going to need to sign some free agents, especially if you want to be somewhat competitive next year, because that's what we're going to need. We don't have enough talent. You're not going to be able to fix these issues that we have on the team with one draft. So you're already pushing away guys that might have looked at us as a destination where they want to be. So, what are you even doing with this move? I don't understand it.
And Tyson, I know you were talking to Damian Woodian before a little bit on Twitter, and he was on ESPN Radio also for like 5 minutes, and he roasted the Jets about this. Like, they have no grounds to question how hurt a player is. Everybody's pain tolerance is different. You can't get inside a player's head. And it's such a bad look. Whether it's like inside your own locker room or outside free agents, it's a terrible look. And the fact that they're hiding for 2 weeks.
Dude,
what the hell are we doing?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's a clown show. Like, it's like you can question Joe Douglas on 4 or 5 things, and then we can get to how they handled C.J. Mosley. It's no secret he shouldn't have played last week. And once you saw him in the first quarter, you take him out. Like, it's not going to – like, they mishandled so many things, and I just don't get it. Like, everybody's so focused on, Adam Gase did this. Hey, he's doing a lot of bad things. Joe Douglas isn't doing much better.
How does it take 6 weeks to do a deep dive on an injury on an $85 million a year player? Or $85 million player total. How does that how do you not know something is wrong when a mild groin strain, where he was, I think, questionable the following week on Monday night, turns into a 6-week injury? How are you not, looking further into what it could be?
It's just...
And then you put him back out of the field, and now he's probably out for the year?
Yep. But not even that. But just look at the middle linebacker position. Neville Hewitt's been hurt all week. They knew Mosley wasn't going to play. They knew all this. Why not sign somebody, dude? Why not bring in a veteran middle linebacker? Why not bring somebody else in? Why are they always waiting till the last minute? So now it's like,
I wonder if we can make a trade for Darren Wace, though. On the block.
Yeah. This friggin' team. So, Prime Time, what's your prediction for Sunday?
I feel like this is a game they should win. You're going up against a backup quarterback. Like I said, Jags don't have Ramsey. I feel like they should win, but I have zero confidence in Gase right now, and the defense not having Mosley out there, still no Herndon. I'm going Jags 19-16.
Thanks for coming on, Prime Time, and I want ghost sounds, man. Give me some ghost sounds next time.
You got it.
Later, man. All right, Joe, we wrapped a lot of these things up here. I guess I'll go first. This game it's very hard to figure out because the Jets are coming off an epic loss. I mean, this was just a disaster. And now it's like, on the road, can they rally the troops? And then you say, okay, maybe they can. Then you see the injury report, and you're like, oh, my God. Like if it could go wrong, it can go wrong. I think the Assembly situation is a factor. The locker room's probably pissed about that. The locker's probably pissed. They're probably pissed about a lot of things, to be honest with you. So, I don't know, man. Does this team buy into Adam Gase? Will they rally around him? Will they rally around Sam? If this offense starts out slow, I don't think it's going to go well at all for this team. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to say 17-14 Jets. I think this game is going to be ugly as hell, but I have no faith in this at all. You could see Josh Allen having 3 sacks, and I could see by halftime Jet fans ripping Quinnen Williams for not doing anything. You could already see it.
Yep.
Monday morning, the Jets should have drafted Josh Allen. Quinnen Williams is a bust. You could see it.
Yep.
And that's my biggest fear.
Yeah.
But my only reason for picking this is that I think that, Jamal Adams and these guys are going to be like, listen, we have to get this. We have to rally around it, because if not, like him and Le'Veon Bell may rally this team, because if not, they may go 2-14 this year, or 3-13. I mean, this could be a disaster. So,
yeah, look,
I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I hear you. And first, I want to thank Primetime for coming on. I love talking to him, but look, I hear you. They can try to rally all they want. They tried to rally against the Patriots, and that did not work. I think that this is a game where they come out and we see some of the same things that we saw against the Pats, where we just cannot keep Sam protected. I think Jacksonville has the pass rushers from Myles Jack to Yannick. I mean, Calais Campbell is a guy that can get after it. He can really, I think he's really going to manhandle our offensive line. You'll see him really make an impact from that defensive end, or sometimes they move around on the line as well, that defensive tackle spot. I think we're going to have issues getting guys blocked. I can see Allen, like you said, having 3 sacks. So I think we'll struggle there, and I think we'll see some things. And I think Sam's going to get banged around in this game. I'm just wondering how many times he's going to get hit. I think defensively we'll keep him. We'll hold him for a bit, but eventually we'll give up some stuff, especially when they start targeting Tremaine Johnson. And that's when I think, Leonard Fournette coming out that backfield, catching the ball, is really going to start to expose things, especially with our linebackers banged up the way we are. But I just don't think we have enough. And I think the Jaguars are going to win 24-10. 24-10 is the Jags, but I'm telling you, this is a game where that score is not going to be like, oh, well, we scored. It's going to be like, oh, my goodness, we really got stoned again.
Yeah, I mean, this has the potential to be a very ugly game, either a defensive battle where it's just ugly, or just an ugly game where the Jets are just not doing well. So, once again, we are on YouTube. Let's Talk Jets Radio. We have plenty of videos on there. Instagram and Twitter at Talk Jets Radio. We're all over iTunes, Spreaker, Podcast, Podbean, all kinds of stuff. I added us to everything. So check all those things out. Please subscribe. Leave us reviews. Leave us feedback. We always appreciate it. We're live Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. And Joe, another preview show in the books. Thank God there's only, 9 more of these? I don't have any more left, but it is your time to shine.
Yes, listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote our Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Let's Talk Jets Radio. Like that page. Our content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message us. We'll message you right back. We love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave us some feedback. We love hearing about what you folks think we do here on Let's Talk Jets Radio. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. That's 3 zeros. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. If you want to troll me, no issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Darnold jersey on. I'm hoping he does not get killed against the Jaguars, so I can continue to wear that jersey with him actually playing out there. So go ahead and, again, follow me, and I'll follow you right back, and we can go back and forth. I'm also on YouTube as well at YoungJ00. That's 2 zeros on YouTube, 3 on Twitter. I do weekly videos. I talk about the Jets. I talk about all the news that we got going on here. I also do a weekly pick'em, so I talk about other teams on my channel as well. So go ahead and subscribe to my content. And you want to message me on there as well, go ahead, and I'll message you right back. We can go back and forth on there as well. You can troll me on there as well, and we can go back and forth too. So, listen, when you folks see me in person, all right, it is arms out, chest open, free. Oh, come on, man. Listen, the money is mandatory. Okay, the money is mandatory.
Not the legacy.
That's listen, not the legacy. The money is mandatory. That's what Robbie said. That's what Robbie said. Robbie tweeted that. The money's not mandatory with me though. It's all about the legacy. It's all about me sharing with the people. So that charging for hugs thing, that is a lie. That is a lie made up by Tyson Rouse. It is not real, okay? When you see me in person, all right, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone, okay? The hugs are absolutely free. They will cost you absolutely nothing. Do not believe the haters. Listen, folks. I want to thank you folks for listening. Without you people, we are absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen and call in, okay? You folks are the absolute best. And listen, again, everyone, the Sisters Network, Essex County Breast Cancer Awareness. We're going to continue to spread that throughout the month of October. It is all across our social media, all the links where you can go and donate, give your time. There's also events coming up. Get involved any way you can. Again, Sisters Network of Essex County. Get involved with everything that they're doing. And again, all the male listeners, breast cancer just does not only affect women. It also affects you. Get to your doctor. Get yourself checked. Early detection is key.
Well said, man. Enjoy your Friday night. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the game on Sunday. Hopefully they shock all of us and play very well. And we'll talk about it all on Tuesday.